Hi, I'm Amanda Midkiff, and this is the Locust Light Show, your gateway to creating potent plant magic in your everyday life. Wherever you are on your journey, I'm so glad you're here. We are talking today about 5 ways to celebrate Imbolg. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are moving towards Imbolg, the seasonal holiday that falls midway between winter solstice and spring equinox. Imbolg is a time when we celebrate the return of the light, the first slant of light. The light has begun to increase again at winter solstice, and the shift has been imperceptible, but we are just beginning to truly feel the effects of the waxing sun. Imbolg is also known by some other names. Some folks call it Candlemas or St. Bridget's Day, and those are both Christian reimaginings of the traditional Northern European pagan holiday. Candlemas is connected with Christ, and St. Bridget's Day honors St. Bridget, who's the saint of hearth and home. And so many people will honor Imbolg by making handicrafts, etc. Imbolg is a special time of year because it is a seasonal shift that we don't often recognize in other ways in our culture. We have ways of honoring the winter solstice. People celebrate Halloween. We tend to notice summer solstice and the equinoxes, but this slight shift as the light begins to increase is not one that we spend a lot of time on. Most of us are so used to feeling miserable at this time of year and just hating the gray days and the relentless cold that we don't notice the return of the light. But that's okay, because the light is returning whether or not we notice it. But if you're interested in honoring the return of the light, there are a lot of ways that you can help to align your energies with the season and also celebrate it. So today we're talking about 5. The first way to celebrate Imbolg season is to take a ritual bath. Imbolg means in the belly or in the womb. And at Imbolg, I like to work with this energy of planting this seed in darkness that will then slowly begin to send out its little first roots and expand and reach toward the light. At winter solstice, we set intentions, and we spent a lot of time dreaming them up and crafting them, but it wasn't really time to do anything about them yet. Now at Imbolg, we are planting this seed in the soil, and I like to work with this imagery of ourselves going into the womb to reemerge new, because we are starting a new year. To me, the ritual act that best represents this type of rebirth is a bath. It's so easy to just go into a tub and imagine yourself releasing things that no longer serve you and releasing old stories and old habits and patterns and identities, and then emerging the next version of yourself. If you don't have a bathtub at home and you would like to take a bath, there are many ways you can simulate this. I like to use foot and hand baths. You can still prepare a beautiful soak for yourself using herbs, Epsom salts, oils, candles, always candles, and you can still simulate this going within with blankets, pillows, that sort of thing. So the first way to celebrate Imbolg is to prepare a beautiful ritual bath for yourself that symbolizes going back into the womb or below ground and transforming in any way that you wish to transform, and then emerging anew. The second way to celebrate Imbolg is to purify a ritual object. Many of us use ritual objects in our spiritual practice. That might be crystals, it might be a rattle or a drum, or, a candle holder, it might be tarot cards or a wand, a cauldron, something to burn herbs in, anything like that. And as we move through the year, these objects tend to accrue energies, or maybe they stagnate, if we don't use them a lot. And this is the traditional time of year to give an energetic clearing to ritual objects. It's also a great time of year to give a clearing to spaces in your home or vehicle that might stagnate, like unused drawers or shelves or your car console or those little handles in your car door, any little space that you don't tend to clean very often. This is a very good time of year to give those spaces some attention and to help to free up any stagnant energies that might have gotten stuck there. So to celebrate Imbolc, I recommend choosing at least one object to use in your ritual practice. And it could be even a mundane object that just happens to participate, like a tea kettle or a favorite teacup. And give that object an energetic clearing. So you could use smoke, you could use sound or song, you could use water or vinegar, whatever feels good to you and is appropriate to the material that the object is made from. The third way to celebrate Imbolc is to craft something with your hands. As I said before, Imbolc is also connected to Saint Bridget, the saint of hearth and home. And so many people celebrate Imbolc by making these square crosses. It's like a nice little craft to do. Whether or not you make those, it's a nice time of year to make something with your hands. So traditionally, this would be the time of year in temperate zones where you're stuck inside, so whereas the rest of the year, there's always outdoor things to be done, outdoor, crops to be tended, gardens to be tended, things to do outside. This time of year, if you're living more like agrarian lifestyle, the only thing you could do outside is the basic animal chores, perhaps, and then the rest of the time you're sitting by the fire and you're darning your socks, you're mending your clothing, you're making new clothing, you're maybe mending the horse's harness, you're whittling, you're carving, you are making things by the fire. And so a good way to celebrate Imbolc is to make some sort of handicraft. Get out your knitting needles, embroider a handkerchief, look up how to darn your socks, or, make anything that you like to make. It's a really nice time to mindfully craft. And if you're crafting something for ritual use, even better. The next way to celebrate Imbolc is to search out tree buds. I love paying extra attention to the trees at this time of year. It can feel desolate outside if you're someone who loves the herbaceous green plant life. And it can help to remember that the trees are still there. And not only are they there, but you can see them so differently than you can see them when they're fully leafed out. In the wintertime, you can see the tree bark and you can see their beautiful branches against the sky, whether it's like a nice gray sky because there's a snowstorm coming, or whether it's a really beautiful sunset. You can see the trees in a more intimate way than you can see them when they're covered in leaves. And tree buds at this time of year are very busy counting the exact hours of daylight. So in the summer and fall, the trees spent a lot of resources and energy into forming tree buds. The trees gathered their sunlight and sent it into the tips of their branches and put out next year's buds. And those buds are there and they're visible right now. And the energy of the tree bud that is like latent and it is full and it is counting the sunlight hours and it is ready to burst open into new life, that is the energy that we are also feeling inside of ourselves. It's the energy that we're feeling as we subconsciously are able to track the return of the light, or consciously. And it's the energy that we are feeling as we are beginning to work towards manifesting those intentions we set at winter solstice. We've had a lot of time to rest. I'm all about going in full hibernation mode in winter solstice season, really being like extra plush with yourself, extra gentle, extra couch time, extra sweatpants, all that. And we're still being gentle, but we are feeling that energy gathering and we are getting ready to open up to the world again. So seeking out tree buds is a fun activity this time of year. It gets you outside, it gets you looking at the trees, and it gets you to interact with the trees with that explorer's mind, that curious mind, the searching mind. And spending time just connecting with the tree buds can help you to feel that kindling of energy in yourself as well. The final way to celebrate Imbolc is to start making moves. You set those intentions back in winter solstice, and now you've just been chilling. And now at Imbolc, it's time to start making plans. It's time to start, planning out what you need to do to make those intentions happen. And it's time to start doing the things, making the phone calls, sending the emails, doing the research, all of that. Make the plan for how you're going to manifest the intentions you set at winter solstice and start doing it. It's also a good time to get yourself moving a little more. I know we all get into that deep rest of winter, and we want to gently bring some movement back into our systems, a little more walking, a little more dancing. And if you're really struggling with this, one of my favorite tips is cayenne flower essence. Not just consuming cayenne, but taking cayenne flower essence in your tea or just straight can be a really helpful way to kindle that fire within yourself when you are ready. So my friend, those are your ways of celebrating Imbolc season. I wish you a warm, delicious rekindling of your energy deep within your belly. Remember, the earth and the plants and the trees love you. You alone.